So, how do you understand who Julian Assange was and what he means for your enterprise of journalism?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's not a coincidence that libertarians really took up his cause and were kind of early and loud in taking up his cause because I think at the very basic level, one of the things that what are journalists for? And it's to get out the truth, to expose the truth. And if there's one thing that Assange has not been accused of, it's untruths. Right? He is not peddling untruths. He is peddling real documents, real information, and in the end, it's just to me very hard to establish a moral high ground where you're like people shouldn't know true things about what their government is doing. Like,
Right.
yeah, there might be bad consequences sometimes when the truth gets out, but not as often as defenders of kind of secrecy and noble lies and national security state would like us to believe. And far more often, good things happen when people know what's true. And I think, there's no point in being in journalism. There's no point in even thinking about who counts as a journalist unless you're going to grant that on some level. And I think the same thing is true of Chelsea Manning's case. I think, there's Assange is not the only one. He just happens to be very high profile and international and all that. But there are lots of people who have taken risks to expose true things. And I think, well, fundamentally, I don't think journalists should have different speech rights than anyone else. Like, we should all have the same free speech rights, and they should be wide-ranging and robust.
Yeah.
But certainly, Assange should be accorded whatever rights are available for doing this thing, which is just like spreading true information.
For those who haven't, myself included, don't remember all the details of what the WikiLeaks leaks were, just can you recap what it is that got Julian Assange into hot water with global governments and with the U.S. government in particular? Like, what exactly did he do that warranted being holed up in house arrest and foreign embassies?
I mean, I think it's easy, it's been so long and it's easy to forget, like, the wiki and WikiLeaks is relevant, right? So, like, we all use Wikipedia, we use it all the time, and it's crowdsourced, right? Many people contribute, and the idea there, again, is to get to the truth. What Assange did was build a way for people who have confidential information or information that governments want to keep secret in whatever form, or corporations, to make it available to the public in a kind of searchable, intelligible, usable way. That's a great way to just like annoy a lot of governments. And I think at the very kind of root of it, that's all he was doing. I mean, he's a clearinghouse, right? He wasn't even he's not Glenn Greenwald, or he's not doing the journalism himself even. He was just bringing stuff to light. And I think people who would like to draw a distinction somehow of either how really, really secret those sources were originally, and also how much they were sort of laundered by WikiLeaks or by Assange. Like, is it okay if you like write some very nice prose about it, or if you just dump it? Like, is that really a difference? I don't think so. Journalists all the time will defend their right to obtain sources, to obtain information from people, and not necessarily ask questions about how they got that information, right? I mean, this is the Pentagon Papers. This is,
right.
There's a long tradition of, I'm not going to ask you how you got these documents, but I am within my rights to publish them. And that's a well-established principle.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's not just like a journalism tradition. It is like the most lionized thing ever about journalism, right? The amount of movies about bringing things to light through the Washington Post is, there's Oscar-winning performances about doing exactly the thing, more or less, that Julian Assange has been tormented about for
right.
however
and just,
long it's been.
Just because you happen to have a press pass in your hat before you do that, it doesn't mean that your rights should be different, I think. I will say journalists really drink that Kool-Aid. Like, I occasionally have to kind of talk down my reporters from like, I've gotten some documents, and it's like, is there anything is there anything in the documents? And they're like, but I got documents and that's what we're supposed to do, right? And it's like, definitely yes. But also there has to be something in them. And I think, the innovation of WikiLeaks is that they kind of let the world decide, is there something in these documents, right? They kind of put them all out there. And in that way eliminated another gatekeeper. The media itself can be a gatekeeper in what they choose to tell you about what they get a hold of. And WikiLeaks just said, here, we got this for you. Do what you want.
If you like this clip, we've got so much more where that came from. So be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you won't miss our new videos as they come out each week.